Hey,
Hey,
hey, wait, what the fuck? What the
what?
fuck? Sober Connor, this is season 2. Get that shit out of here.
Wait. Is the new stuff up yet?
No?
No. Can I put it up?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Bam! It's up. Oh my god! It's season 2.
Sober Connor's fucking slacking. I had to get a new editor.
Get lady on the job.
Oh no.
I can just see a little pause on the keyboard, just typing away.
Add in all the gifs of dogs at computers. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh my god, you're really just overworking your new editor. First day on the job. Got all these gifts to put up.
But yeah, season 2 got some nice new graphics, got some nice new, honestly, it's just the graphics.
Yeah, graphics courtesy of You're My Our Beloved,
Squeef.
friend of the channel, Squeef.
Are we putting in actual sound effects for that? No.
I mean, who doesn't love the BBBs?
PvP. Like, comment, and subscribe if you don't like the PvP.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you do.
Or leave a review, because, I don't know, at the time of recording this, I'm still going back and putting in the season 1 episodes into our anchor.fm, because eventually we have to turn this thing that we're calling a podcast, we have to make it into an actual podcast. So I'm trying to do that right now.
Like, holy fuck. Like, we're doing it. I mean, we're
doing it.
Which, we will still probably upload these to YouTube because Sober Connor, or our new editor.
Sober Connor, this is your chance to prove yourself.
Anyway, Sober Connor loves doing visual gags, and we will keep those up for the people who like that stuff. And for the people who, don't really have time to have YouTube pulled up on their phone or their computer or whatever, we have...
Or just don't want to use data, because, oh boy, do we understand not wanting to use your data.
Oh, yeah. No, valid. Yeah, but so for those people, we have the just audio-only podcast, because, this is a podcast.
Yep. Currently, right now, that is available on anchor.fm and nowhere else.
Woo!
Because
yep.
As much as Apple wants to say, hey, we're not going to ban your podcast if it has an episode number in the title, that's bullshit. Oh boy, did ours.
Get 'em! Anyway, there goes our Apple sponsorship.
I mean, that's fine.
So, yeah, this is what we got cooking up so far for season 2. If you guys know us, we fly by the seat of our pants. But hopefully we'll have lots of new cool stuff for you. We got ideas that are vaguely in the works that we might do this season.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and then season 2 will probably continue for an arbitrary amount of time until we decide it's season 3.
Yeah, season 1 may have been 11 episodes. Season 2 is probably going to be like, I don't know, insert number here.
Yeah. We're talking about probably the next time we get any sort of like upgrade. So once we get the Laser Light Show, then it's season 3.
So lots of new stuff for season 2, but you all know us. You all know our content. We are here with same old two of us, same old format. Kylen, what you drinking?
Well, funny story. I didn't realize we were recording tonight, to be completely transparent.
Neither did I.
So, I went out and got a bottle of wine, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to just, let's get on the call. I'll drink this, and I'll let you know when I'm ready. So I started the call, and I was up at the top of the bottom of the wine bottle, And I think in about the 5 minutes we were talking, I got you very close to the bottom of the wine bottle.
Oh yeah, that wine bottle has been chugged.
So this is White Zinfandel because this is my go-to whenever I forget to go to the liquor store. I just grab a bottle of wine and drink straight from the bottle, much to Connor's, I don't know, whatever sort of emotions you feel.
Let's go with chagrin.
You know, I was thinking of chagrin, and I was like, I don't know if that's right, but I felt it. I felt it on the inside.
I feel that chagrin.
And Connor, what are you drinking this evening?
Well, I'm currently not drinking anything, but during the stream today, I was having some Monster, limeade, and gin. Because as is usually the case with my Saturdays, I had a fucking headache.
Bah.
And then right before this, in the time that you went to go get your alcohol, I had made like a half thing of coffee. Coffee being Starbucks blonde, the like pre-made stuff that you can just like buy bottles of. Kahlua, Bailey's, and Pinnacle vanilla vodka, or no, Pinnacle whipped cream vodka. A lot better than Smirnoff stuff.
Oh, really? Wow. I thought Pinnacle was like lower tier than Smirnoff, like price wise.
Maybe it seems a lot smoother than the Smirnoff stuff.
Well, guess what, Smirnoff? We don't want your sponsorship. Pinnacle, come on through.
Smirnoff's caramel stuff is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I like just regular Smirnoff products and Smirnoff ices.
Oh, Smirnoff Ice is wonderful.
How can I forget being 18, young, dumb, naive, chugging Smirnoff ices?
What you don't see behind the camera right now is me just like pushing my Smirnoff Ice behind the couch.
Listen, I will throw shade at Smirnoff ices, but they still smack. Like, I will never forget my roots.
They're dummy thick.
Come on, just made me spill this wine. How dare you? So it's funny enough that David Hayter, the voice of Snake from Metal Gear Solid, recorded that fucking Tumblr post meme that's like, Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick. The clamp of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards. So it was funny enough that they got David Hayter to do it. To me, it was about 10 times funnier when fucking Arsqueef made a tweet that referenced that about
Dr. Connor put up that tweet.
I lost my fucking shit. Apparently, I ruined him because now he does memes. Apparently, it's a bad thing.
You heard it here first. Arsqueef was a good boy until KyleWithAnN corrupted him.
Oh my god. Speaking of which, I just gotta get this off my chest because it was such a fucking roast. But like, whenever I was streaming the other day, he was in chat and he was like, I just want you to know that the other day I looked up Persnickety Poltergeist, which is the name of our bar, Troll Skull Manor, in our version of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, which is Amon Dragon Heist.
Our Summer in Amon campaign.
Yes. And so I was the one that came up with the name for the bar, the Persnickety Poltergeist. And he was like, I just want you to know that I looked it up because I thought you got it from something. And I was absolutely gobsmacked to find out that the first mention was on your Twitter. And I'm like, yeah, no, I came up with it on my own. Like, I'm funny. I'm creative. I like alliteration. What's your point? And he was like, oh, sorry. 85% of the shit that comes out of your mouth is either a vine or a meme. So excuse me for not knowing. And it was such a drag, but it was like so honest. But yeah, you heard it here first. I corrupt people with memes. We're already off the rails.
How do we run this show again?
Well,
what are the games we done? What's the fun we done?
Yes, generally we start with that. We talk about
about our OCs for like an hour.
And then we spend like 15 minutes talking about other stuff, right?
The actual topic that we planned.
Bold of you to assume we planned. So, what do you want to start with?
You had a Monster of the Week game today. You had another one of those before that.
Oh boy.
How's that going?
Actually, I think I've only had one because
That's right, last week was canceled.
Yeah, we canceled last week because I had to go take a CLEP test, unfortunately. But yeah, no, this week was supposed to be our downtime episode, which I thought was just going to be like happy, fun time, innocent, RP, relationship building. Maybe if we're lucky, a beach episode.
Ooh.
Well.
Let's what's all this in?
Talk about So, in the show, my character Lemmy, his professor, Professor Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, is dating his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so the professor talks to him after class and is like, by the way, he says some like other stuff, like how, there's a lot of latent potential in Lemmy, and like, ultimately it might be his job one day to keep Tara and Sildro in line. Oh my god, I have like the hiccups. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
But like, yeah, to keep Tara and Sildro in line, because one of them is like has like a fucking werewolf with a sword come out of their stomach, and the other one's like a fucking celestial being with a flaming sword, and Lemmy's just normal. Oh, by the way, I have to say this first. I almost forgot. We ended up losing a player, so our Justice, RJ, who played Ajax, is no longer able to play in our campaign due to scheduling conflicts, and we miss him so much because Ajax was the coolest. And we're still recovering from that loss. But it worked out in canon. He's still around. He's just busy doing sect stuff. But anywho, So Professor Lovecraft started off with that, and then he was like, "Oh, by the way, I want to ask for your mom's hand in marriage. Is that cool?"
Oh. How long has he known her?
For a few months. How many months? It's hard to say exactly because the way our game is set up, like each mystery has like an unspecified amount of time in between, sometimes like a month or longer. So it's been at least a few months. Maybe like half a year at least. Okay. Still a little short for Lemmy's standards. But so Lemmy was just like, sorry, I'm gonna have to like get back to you on that because this is just a lot right now. Because you're my professor, you have tentacles, but like at the same time, he has a feature where he can tell whether or not people are lying to him. And he knows that the professor's not lying about, like, actually being in love with his mom. So it's just, like, a lot for him. Plus, there's the fact that, like, he's still not over the fact that his dad passed away a few years ago. So it was just a lot for him.
Yeah.
So, that happens. Then, they're all kind of, like, talking about it in a diner, and Sildro was like, Professor Lovecraft is just like manipulating you, he's using you to get to us, and he's doing something, blah, blah, blah. And Lemmy's just like, no, the worst part is he's being genuine. It would almost be better if he was lying, because then he would be like some monster that I can take down, but he's not. He's just a guy that loves my mom, and that's the worst part. And yeah, no, and we're in this diner, and then it's a little weird because there's this waitress. She comes out. She asks if we want some coffee. Do we want a double or a double? And then it's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Blah blah blah. We keep talking. The waitress comes out again. Says the exact same thing, the exact same way. And then the news is on. And like there's something about like this astral body that's like near the moon, near Earth, and they don't know what it is. And like Lemmy's looking at the TV, and this guy for a split second looks like his dad, like his real ass dad, his real ass dead dad. But then in a split second later, it looks back to normal again. So Lemmy's just like freaked out because he's like, everything is just kind of getting to him mentally, and this weird thing's going on with this waitress. So they leave, but still Joe's like, no, that's weird. I'm going back in. And then the waitress, like, it gets weird after that. Has like her eyes turn like black and her head turns 180 degrees, and she has like tentacles come out of her mouth. And then Sildro like investigates further, and apparently there's like some like hard drive thing, and my face is on a computer, and he like takes that, and we're apparently on spring break during this time, so like Lemmy's going off to investigate things, Sildro's going off to investigate things, and Tara's going off to do things, and then so Lemmy goes home and goes to his mom's house and sees his sister, and he's talking to his sister, and his sister says like the same thing about like wanting coffee, whether he wants a double or a double. And he's like, that's weird. And then a few days later, he's over there with Tara, and they're trying to investigate something, and his mom comes downstairs and asks if he wants a coffee the exact same way the waitress did, and his sister did. And he's like, oh, okay, this is like really weird. And then Sildro's like, hey, come to the park. Oh, I gotta show you something. We gotta look something up. So like Lemmy's like, I want to go to the park, and Tara's like, oh, I'm gonna go home. Let me just take a taxi home. And then the taxi driver was also being super weird, and he's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna stop by this coffee shop real quick. And he does, and then he says the exact same thing about coffee, and then he turns and looks at Tara, and his eyes are black. But luckily for Tara, he has like an ability where he can just like bamf out of places. So he was like, nope. Yeah. So I teleport out the car. But so he actually ends up like teleporting to the park. We go find fucking Sildro, who in the past 3 days made a tree house in the park because now he's like doomsday prepping.
Nice.
Which is so funny because my character is the conspiracy theorist, and normally Sildro is not, but like he thinks it's also grand conspiracy where the professor is involved and he's out to get us. But we end up having to like break into the library to use one of their computers to look at this flash drive, and Connor. This is where it gets wild.
It was already pretty wild.
It was already.
I'm thinking of like scrolls and mind flayers and shit.
But this is where it gets wilder. So they go and look at the flash drive, and like it turns out like they have like copies and models of every person that Lemmy and the gang's ever interacted with. They have like models on there, and then he finds out like it's fucking aliens, man. He was right. Fucking aliens. But no, it gets wilder. There's a video on there of his dad like in this fucking spaceship, like running and trying to like upload this data to like send to Lemmy, but then he gets like shot and he dies, but like Lemmy's dad died of like natural causes, so he's like, oh my god, my dad knew about aliens and he was gonna tell me. And then he sees another video where he was fucking abducted by aliens like he always said he was.
I was right.
Oh my god. And then like the video has them like, it shows like content warning for a little bit of like I don't know, like surgery, body modification. I don't know if it's like necessarily body gore, but maybe a little bit. But you know, content warning for the next 10 to 15 seconds.
So throw up that content warning. This is only in the YouTube video. The audiocast listeners, I'm so sorry.
They had like drilled into the back of his skull, and that's all you can see in the video. And he's like, hang on, let me just like feel around in my head real quick. He goes and presses against the back of his head and like hears like a pop.
Oh no.
And like he gets Tara to like pull out what is essentially this flash drive that was like in his fucking brain. But like once it was pulled out, like all of like that like anxiety and all that like jittery nervousness like went away.
Oh.
And like they looked into the flash drive and basically the aliens have like were like viewing everything from his eyes. So it was basically all like, so he was basically taking surveillance videos for them because they uploaded some shit into his brain to do that. And then the episode fucking ends with like all these fucking aliens right outside the library ready to fucking get them.
Oh no.
But like so fucking wild because I was like, oh, this is gonna be a happy fun time episode. It was not. It was not. Oh. And we found out that Professor Lovecraft is actually a good guy because the aliens want to kill him because he's very dangerous. Oh, fuck. And I forgot to mention that he's been making them get like all these items and shit for like all their missions. And it turns out it's for some sort of summoning and binding spell, but we don't know what he wants to summon and bind yet. I don't know if it's aliens or not, but anyways, turns out my stepdad is a cool guy. But holy crap. When you give DMs like Pro Restarter the knives, they will stab you. I just didn't expect the knife to stab everyone.
There's nothing better than a weaponized backstory.
Which is really funny because we cut to break, and like before the break I mentioned like, oh yeah, my dad died a few years ago, so that's why I'm not over that, so I'm not cool with my mom getting married again. So he's like, yeah, so tell me a little bit about your dad. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, he just died of natural causes. I mean, that's pretty much it. And he's like, oh, okay. And then, like,
you had thought.
Yeah, I gave him a dead dad thinking he wouldn't be able to kill my dad, but he killed my dad in a flashback.
Kylen, as someone who has experienced dead dads on Pro Restar's channel very often, I have to say, it's not something that you can just walk away from.
The man has a brand and he needs to stick to it. Pro Drama Club, kill your dad. That's the tagline. I just love the way you're posted up right now. You look like a fucking wine mom, just like, listen.
So our talkers can't look behind the screen because even in the YouTube video, it's this audio primary thing.
To which I say, thank God.
I have this futon like completely like folded out. Like if you wanted to sleep on it, you could, and I have it folded out so that my dog can lay comfortably on it. while I am also here. That's pretty much it. It's just now I don't have like a back to lean against while also staying pretty close to the microphone. So I'm just like sitting in this very seductive pose.
Yeah, like honestly, like it the way you're posed right now, you should be wearing a very sheer nightgown and nothing else. With a glass of red wine.
Coming soon to a merch store near you.
Let's talk about it. Sheer nightgowns. Let's talk about it. Lingerie set.
Anything else besides aliens and dads and double or double coffees on Monster of the Week?
I would just like to say that I was right. Also, now that I think about it, there is one more thing I kind of want to talk about.
Let's talk about
in regards to that. So one of the mechanics, yes, parkour for the ladies and gents and those who identify as neither. So there is a mechanic in Monster of the Week. So because it is a Powered by the Apocalypse type game, you get experience when you fail rolls. You also get experience whenever, I don't know exactly the name of this mechanic, but I'll describe it to you. It's basically the character and the DM or the MC.
GM intrusion.
No, it's something a little different. It's like one of the players and the MC will pick a stat, like a stat to highlight for you. So anytime you roll using that stat, you automatically gain experience. So, like, if someone's like, I want to see Lemmy be sharp this episode. And the MC will say, oh, well, I want to see Lemmy be tough. Anytime I roll sharp, I get experience. Anytime I roll tough, I get experience. If I roll with that stat and fail, I get 2 experience. So, I've been leveling up like a motherfucker. Because people seem to keep picking my sharp stat, which is what I use the most, because Lemmy is very sharp. Mm-hmm. So, I've leveled up a few times. So, I'm at the point where the next time I level up, I can get an advanced option. And one of the advanced options, which is interesting in Monster of the Week, is you can change your character to an entirely different playbook, as long as it's not played by someone else.
Okay.
Because there's several different playbooks you can choose from. So you can change your entire character concept, which is something I'd never thought about before. But one of the other castmates, I guess, on that show, Dave, CCC dash, I don't remember the numbers, but friend of the channel, CCC dash numbers, was like, oh, so like the next time Lemmy levels up, like you could totally change his playbook to like another playbook or something. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Because what does a conspiracy theorist do once they find out they're right about everything? And also, what happens whenever, like, basically anxiety was uninstalled from his brain? So what do you do then? And I'm like, this is character development. So I feel like the next time I level up, I don't know if he's necessarily a flake anymore. I mean, I think there is another playbook that works into it. There's another playbook called the Expert, which is basically like you know a lot of shit about, you know, the monsters you're trying to hunt, which makes sense because Lemmy's always very well researched. So it's definitely something I'm toying with. And I think I might want to do that because I think character development. They literally, aliens put anxiety in his brain, and they took out the USB drive with the anxiety. So, let's pursue that path. What happens if Lemmy is like cool now all of a sudden?
What happens whenever the shy nerdy person is cool?
Well, he's not like super cool, but he's just no longer like nervous.
He's not owned by his anxiety.
Yeah, no, he is like actually now like, okay, instead of being like, oh geez, like maybe I know stuff and maybe no one will believe me. No. He's like, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. I know what needs to be done, and we need to do this. Which is kind of interesting considering the conversation that his professor was having with him. It's like, you have a lot of potential. It's there. One day you'll unlock it. And it feels like that, that was kind of like him unlocking it. All he needed was to find out he was right.
I was right.
Anyways, aliens are real.
Aliens are real. Title IX is for real. Ghost is for real.
Title IX is for real. Oh my god. Okay. Enough about me. Let's talk about one of the games you're in.
Well, keeping in the theme of the Pro Restarter channel, I also played a game in which PR was actually another player. This is the Little Things game, where we all play kiddos in D&D 5e.
Yes.
We killed a hag.
Yes, kids. I'm so proud of you, babies.
We killed a hag very quickly.
Strong babies.
So, this was not a very, Koyar specific episode. Koyar is the name of my character on that particular game.
And please remind the audience what exactly Koyar is.
Koyar is a ranger. He is a shifter from the Eberron source books, Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron, I guess the Unearthed Arcana that released alongside it. But it is in the Forgotten Realms, so I'm playing it as his parents were werewolves and abandoned him.
Woos.
So he was raised by two halflings who ran a kennel. He has two halfling dads.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, Koyar is 8.
Oh, baby.
But shifters age a little bit quicker, so he's 8, but he looks like a 14-year-old human.
Oh. Is he the youngest in the party?
By age, I think so, but physically, he's sort of the oldest.
Interesting.
He's the closest to adulthood. Which, the hag, whenever she appeared, did not look like a hag. She looked like a beautiful naked woman. Koyar was feeling some feelies.
You are 8, sir.
And was very distracted. This hag kidnapped our Loxodon friend, played by Nomadic. Wonderful, wonderful man. Because he was at GaryCon this past week.
Sweet.
And we had to go rescue him. This involved us going down and encountering the goblins who were enslaved by this hag. Her hench gobos, who were all imprisoned in cages. Now, Koyar has not been caged per se, but he is very claustrophobic and has essentially, besides very brief glances of the outside or very brief excursions with his dads, his entire life has been lived in a one-room cabin.
Mm-hmm.
So he is not a big fan of confinement. He was hyperventilating. It was bad. It was
Oh,
bad for
maybe.
Koyar, and I'll be interested to see how he gets over that in the next couple of sessions, because it never really got resolved. Every time I play this character, I feel a lot better because it seems like Twitch chat always reacts very positively to the choices that I'm making, like me describing him like hyperventilating and being upset by like being in this tight and close space, or like him wanting to rush back and see if he could like potentially free the goblins, which would have been a horrible choice. Twitch I responded like, oh my gosh, I just want to give Koyar a hug, or like, oh my gosh, he's like a baby Forrest Gump, because I do a very strong Southern drawl for this character.
Nay.
I really like playing the character, and I'm glad that other people enjoy him.
Yeah, it's nice whenever you see people being like, OMG, I love blank being your character, and you're just
I thought you were saying Blake, who is another character that I play.
Yes, we love Blake, we stan.
It's funny because earlier today, I was texting, or Indoor Adventurer was texting me. It's just like, look, I know eventually you want to change Blake's name. Do you want to like start doing that now, or, well, I told him my answer, and in order to see when that happens or how that happens, you'll have to tune in to twitch.tv/the Indoor Adventurer, because friend of the channel, Indoor Adventurer, runs another game for me. I'm just going to segue into that because I didn't really. There's not a lot happening in the Little Things game right now.
Yeah,
like
you guys are just really picking up now, right? Like episode 3, something like that.
3 or 4, yeah. Yeah, we're just going through the woods and encountering horrible nightmare creatures from Dot's brain. I thought that game was going to be cute and wholesome. It is not.
No. Anytime you're in a stream campaign, do not think it will be cute and wholesome. Lessons
have a session 0. You need to know what you're getting into.
Warn me!
But I play in another game with Indoor Adventurer, where I met Arask, who is like this dragon that my patron had dealings with in the past.
Oh, ooh woo.
And through conversations that I do not think Blake was probably charismatic enough to maybe do this, he finessed their first keep.
Oh.
So this dragon was like asking him, which is like, listen, do you like, how do I get in contact with you whenever you leave, in case like I have need of you or something? Because like before, this dragon had like read his diary and summoned him mysteriously to his domain. After a conversation, Blake was able to sort of just be like, look, people are trying to get in touch with us. If we do stuff for you, you're already asking us to do jobs. Instead of paying us, give us a house.
Give me a house.
And he was just like, yeah. And so our little group of millennials who think they can afford a house actually can get a house financed.
God damn.
D&D, where you live out your fantasies.
Woo! Topical.
So now we need to go find and kill a hag. And I think that's actually what we're about to do tomorrow.
Oh, we're finding and killing a hag tomorrow?
Yep. I mean, it's been a recurring theme in our games. This is recapping a lot of what happened in our last episode, but in our last episode, let's talk about it. But yep, hags are still being killed. Turns out they're both sea hags as well.
Oh yeah, tomorrow, because today is Sunday. I'm still in Saturday mode. Excuse me.
Yeah, we are very early on a Sunday morning. In about 15 minutes, we're KyleWithAnN is about to have to experience the trauma of daylight savings time.
Fucking hell. Okay, first of all, fuck Benjamin Franklin for thinking that we need Okay, well, no. Okay, daylight savings time, I guess, makes sense back in the day, but why the hell do we need daylight savings time now? Especially the spring one, because we lose sleep, and I don't like that.
It's just, ugh. It's just, ugh.
So, a big old fuck you to Benjamin Franklin. We do not want your sponsorship. I will go back in time and fight you over daylight savings time so I can get some more fucking sleep in this bitch. God damn.
Consistency reduces complexity. And oh my god, daylight savings is the most inconsistent, irrational bullshit that I've ever had to consistently experience. But while you were going through the horrors of daylight savings times, if you are living in a home and you have fire alarms, please change the batteries in them, because apparently it's good to do that whenever you have to set your clocks.
Yeah.
Do that twice a year.
This isn't the content you would expect from Latai, but here we are offering it to you. We're here to save your fucking lives. So do it. Stop what you're doing. Actually, keep the podcast playing, but just go change your fire alarm while you're listening to it.
Yeah, change the batteries in your fire alarm. Yeah, Indoor Adventure. We're still doing stuff. Go watch it. It's good.
It's real good.
Alas for the Awful Sea.
Oh, yeah, we had a session this past Monday, which... Hoo boy!
Hoo boy.
So, Alas for the Awful Sea is a system that is a little more subtle, I guess, compared to other systems. Like, it's a system that heavily punishes, like, combat and violence. And it's more...
Do you want to talk about it later?
Nope, lady does not want to talk about it. She said, you lost me. No violence.
I cannot hear anything that Kylen is saying right now.
Oh, well then I can just talk shit. Connor is smelly. He smells so bad. Oh, wait, shit, here he comes. He's about to come back. All right, everyone play cool.
Okay.
Okay, what did you miss?
All of that.
Okay. Anyways, so Alas for the Awful Sea, compared to like other games, is a little bit more subtle in its approach. So combat and violence is heavily discouraged and even punished. So you get a lot more like RP, maybe not like subtle RP, but it's a lot more like, less direct, I guess.
Yeah.
And all the conflict you could experience is like, emotional in nature. So, my character, which this isn't character knowledge, but this is player and audience knowledge, is on the heels of a very bad breakup.
Mm-hmm.
And on the heels, I mean, it's been like 3 or 4 years, but, she's moved on over it. It happens whenever your girlfriend leaves you for some rich merchant guy. So she's not over it. So she drinks a lot, and she very casually hooks up a lot. But like for once, she's like, maybe I could be like a little romantic, and because she's kind of interested in the captain of the ship. She's like, oh, I'll just like get her a flower while I'm here and buy this flower shop. Which turned into a whole fiasco, I'll say.
Spill.
So, as Dagny is heading back to the ship, she runs into Elizabeth, who is played by Anarsis. And Dagny is not playing it cool whatsoever. So Elizabeth notices and is like, oh, what's that you got behind your back? And instead of like telling the truth or like saying something rational like a normal person, Dagny's like, a gun?
Which Rufus, you had a gun.
Yeah, which there's a clip of that floating around somewhere on Twitter. Because I just derailed the campaign for like a whole minute. Which, to be fair, Dagny does have like a big ass hunting rifle, so this wasn't just me being like a dick. She does have a gun. But, you know, she just couldn't think of anything better at the moment. Also, Kylen couldn't think of anything better at the moment.
I feel that.
So, but it turned out being really fucking funny. And it was like, yeah, Dagny, you probably shouldn't like say that kind of stuff. Most people take that as a threat. But, you know, Dagny doubled down. Like, you know, she wasn't going to admit to the ship's doctor that she bought a rose. Because, you know, Doc is always like in everyone's business, and she's not about that. So she ended up like dodging her long enough to get on the ship. She tried to drop it off in the ship in the captain's quarters. It was locked. She tries to like break in. Guess who fucking notices? Fucking Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is just like, okay. So, like, what are you doing in here? Like, should I tell the captain? And Elizabeth's like, oh, you know, Dagny, excuse me. Like, oh, you know, fucking tell her then, I guess. Trying to hide the fact that she still has this fucking flower, which is, like, basically destroyed because Dagny was trying to hide it and ended up, like, smooshing it. And then, like, finally Elizabeth sees it and it's just like, Dagny, you could have just, like, said something. Now we have to go get you another flower, which was, you know, very sweet of her. She wasn't, like, a jerk about it. But Dagny was still like, if you tell anyone, I'll kill you. Because that's just who she is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they ended up getting another flower for the captain. And again, she was like, you know, don't tell anyone, not even the captain. Just, like, don't. But later, the captain comes back, and, like, Elizabeth comes to talk to the captain, and the captain's, like, holding the rose, and, like, basically through a series of roles and role-playing it and stuff, the captain thinks, whose name's Harper, but, you know, Dagny calls her Captain, so it doesn't really, you know. So the captain thinks that it's from Elizabeth.
Oof.
And, like, Elizabeth can't really say anything. She's kind of, like, implying that, like, she does know, but she can't, like, say. And she's like, oh, you know, you should go out to the party tonight because they were partying at this bar and talk to some of your crew, blah, blah, blah. But, like, Elizabeth wasn't going. So that bummed the captain out. So whenever we do go to the party, captain gets way too drunk. But, like, backtrack a little bit. I ended up inviting another character named Annabelle, who is not part of the ship's crew. She's a passenger to the party. And then, like, the captain and Dagny were talking, is like, oh, you know, you have a soft spot for Annabelle, and I think Annabelle's treating you, like, really nice. So, like, Dagny's like, like, doing math in her head, is like, is she flirting with me? Does the captain think she's flirting? Wait, hang on. But I like the, what? And so it's like trying to talk to Annabelle to get, like, what's going on over there, but, like, subtly. And she's like, no, Annabelle doesn't like me, and I don't like Annabelle. I like the captain. I'm going to go with the captain. Oh, the captain is, like, sad drunk because Elizabeth's not there because she thinks Elizabeth gave her the rose, and she likes Elizabeth, but Dagny likes the captain, and Elizabeth maybe likes the captain, but Elizabeth would never tell. But then, like, Dagny and the captain are talking, and then eventually they both figure out, like, the captain figures out that it was Dagny, and Dagny figures out that like the captain got the rose but thinks it was from Elizabeth, and that was awkward.
Well, this certainly sounds like an off-the-table game.
So, basically, love triangles. They're a shape. They're a good shape.
They are certainly a shape.
So, basically, Dagny's just like, fuck. I tried to do, like, this one romantic gesture, and it, like, backfired tremendously on me. So, like, let's never do that again. And just go back to, drinking a lot and fucking random women. I mean, I don't know. We could bleep that out. But basically, so yeah, that's the kind of shit that goes on in Alas for the Awful Sea. You get fucking love shapes. And it's very interesting because that game is based on being more subtle, and I designed my character to not be that way. So it's like she sticks out like a fucking sore thumb, and I'm like, oh my god, this is probably too much. But then afterwards, people are like, oh, I fucking love Dagny. And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, validation.
Validation. Especially when you make those dumbass RP moves. I can't tell you how many times people this week have been like, so was it you that said something about having a gun behind your back? And I'm like, shut up. But thanks. Yeah, so that's that on that.
And I guess that's it for our streamed games, but you've also done some other streaming this week.
Oh, me? Well, sometimes, occasionally, I like to stream video games on my own channel. Very rarely because, oh boy, my life does not allow that most of the time.
Hold up, I'm the like space-time continuum is like fluctuating with you right now. It's now 3 a.m.
Oh boy, 3 a.m. Fuck Benjamin Franklin. Anywho, now that I'm like 2 hours in the future, I've come from the future to tell you. Okay, so basically, my schedule sucks, and I don't get to stream as much as I would like to. But whenever I have small breaks from school, I try and wedge a little bit of streaming time in. And I was on spring break this week, so I was like, oh, I'll do some streaming. So I did like a kind of 3-day stream marathon. I originally planned to play Donut County all 3 days, which, if you guys aren't familiar with Donut County, it's kind of like a Katamari-esque game where you basically, there's things in the level that you
drop down a hole.
Yes, you are a tiny hole. The more objects fall into the hole, the bigger your hole becomes. You want your hole to soak up so many things. And that's it. And like that game was so much fun and I loved it, but I finished it in one day.
Horny Main Police, thank you so much, but your presence is not required for this. Please go away.
Although I would love a compilation of all the like things I said during that stream that could be taken out of context because I said so many of them. Because when you have a hole that sucks.
I have so many other videos to edit. Please don't.
All right, our script, get on that. JK. Yeah, no. So I finished it the first day and I was like, shit, what am I going to play? I don't have money to get a new game. And TSB was like, hey, play Battle Chef Brigade. You love that game. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. I mean, I'm terrible at puzzle games, but let's do it. And so I did that for the last 2 days of my stream, and that was a shit ton of fun. Which, for those of you who aren't familiar with Battle Chef Brigade, it's a puzzle action RPG game that's all about like cooking competitions where you like hunt for the ingredients and then like do puzzles to like cook the ingredients. It is so much fun. It's hard as shit for me, but I love it. And yeah, no. Turns out that by the end of that stream, the only thing I have left to do to become a Twitch affiliate is to just stream 3 more days. So, fuck it. I'm gonna knock it out of the way and stream Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as well.
Woo!
Because one of my New Year's resolutions was to hit Twitch affiliate this year.
Oh boy.
And
we gonna do it.
at the time I made that resolution, I was like, I'm not gonna have like 50 followers because I stream so infrequently. Turns out people were following me even though I wasn't streaming for like months. So I ended up hitting like 50 something followers on the first day. And I'm like, well, fuck, now I gotta push through. Because I was so close to hitting affiliate last time, I just didn't have enough followers. So now I gotta like recomplete all the goals, but I'm so close to getting all the goals, so I'm just gonna, I wanna do it.
Don't do it.
I'm excited. Because although right now I do not have the time to like stream that often, maybe if my schedule will change, and I will, and like, you know, it would be really cool to have like emotes and like, you know, bits and subs and all that, those fun perks.
That's fun stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, I need to run to the restroom, so can we take a little break?
Once we figure out what sort of transition we're doing.
Can you like, okay, have like a tiny snail going across the bottom of the screen, and then like, what is it? What is that song? Is it Chariots of Fire that I'm thinking of? That's like, da, 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 da.
I think that's from 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, that is.
The Chariots of Fire is da, 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 da.
Either one of those works. If you want to play both.
Yeah, I'll play both. Or Sober Connor will play both. I am not Sober Connor. Sober Connor will play both so that we don't get copyright stricken.
And there's just gonna be a little snail.
Yeah. You can do it, buddy.
We're so proud of you.
Okay. Bye.
All right. BRB.
Did you say delicious gummies?
No! Can't talk about that! Dare you cut the recording? Anyways, I hope our snail made it across the screen. This train is off the rails and it's on fire. What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, we talked about our stream games. We still playing a couple of other ones. Yesterday, we played some Aetera.
Yeah, that's the game that you and I and our friends, Arsqueef and Ginger Benji are in. Friends of the channel. And that's DM'd by TSB. And yeah. We played in a game of that yesterday.
So during that game, I was very distracted. Because like I'm literally running into that game like right after work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working on something very frustrating at work for the past couple of weeks.
Those frustrating scrummies.
Yeah, very frustrating scrummies. And so I was kind of distracted. So I know for like the first like part of the whole game, like I was like not talking at all, and then I wrote it up to, oh well, Skewer's drinking a lot because he's trying to cope with something. We're just doing stuff in that game. I don't know if we've like found the plot or not, but like we were going after some ghouls who are like, I don't know, doing something with somebody who should be dead.
I think we're on the trail of some sort of plot, but I think that TSP just provides a lot of shit in the world for us to do that we don't always have to trail the plot specifically. But I think he's leading us on to something. For once, he's being coy about it.
So off-brand for him.
Yeah, because usually he's like, oh, by the way, I have this planned out, and he'll tell you, like, he'll spoil the whole thing because he's so excited. It's so cute, but you know. So, like, what was Skewer coping with, Connor? Let's talk about that.
Well, we had talked about it last time. Skewer bloodlusted and hurt Ellie a lot.
Yeah. I don't want to say that hurt a lot, but it definitely did. Because I am probably the squishiest member in the party. And Skewer can do a big hurt.
Yeah, he was definitely built to be a DPS character, and he got scolded by everybody, so now he's taking his time to like feel bad
and cope with alcohol,
mm-hmm.
which like has been noticed by at least 2 members of the party, and definitely noticed by Ellie, because like she went to wake him up and he was like dreaming about it or something, or talking about it in his sleep. It made her sad.
He is probably about to lean very heavily into that alcoholic coping, because whenever I made this version of Skewer and the last version of Skewer, my high concept was frat boy werewolf.
Dumbass.jpg.
Which, speaking, so I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent because
go off.
Yes, this Skewer is frat boy werewolf, and not too long ago, at _Sarah on Twitter, specifically tweeted at Cybrwulf1201, the order on Netflix is relevant to your interests. And oh my gosh, they have frat boy werewolves. And it's the best thing ever. And they also have witches, which are like, witches and werewolves are like my 2 favorite things.
Ooh.
It's awesome. I love it.
Really?
I'm always for the first season, and I hope that the season finale isn't like terrible. It gives me big Sabrina vibes. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. Good. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Pew.
What did we do in that game? Because Ellie was a lot more involved at the beginning of that.
Yeah, so first we passed through this halfling village along the way and was met with wonderful halfling hospitality. But while we were there, we figured out that the son of one of the families, whose name was Milo Greenbottle, was missing. He ran off to live with the humans, and he took the family heirloom, which was a circlet that makes the wearer into a very sexy human. So we were kind of like conflicted. We were like, should we bring it back? Should we like take the circlet back? Should we like tell his family misses him? Should we not do anything at all if we encounter him? Because it turns out he was probably in the next village over. So we're pretty conflicted. We do get to the next village. We meet him. Turns out he's just this really happy guy running this bar in this sleepy little town. He's super lively. And his husband's like super drunk. But, you know, it's still kind of cute. And while we're there, we decide to take a job taking down some of the dead that are rising in the cemetery. Also, we hear rumors of strange little people meeting in the middle of town by the well. And Ellie is like convinced it's fairies because someone said it was fairies that grant wishes, and so she was stuck on that. But anyways, that was all the, I guess, prepping and planning and talking. Then we went out to this graveyard where we fought some skellies and zombies.
Mm-hmm. Then we went in the well, where we actually did find fairies.
There were fucking fairies. But it wasn't quite fairies, it was more like darklings.
I mean, they're fae.
Yeah, but it's a little different because these are like fairies who like can't see the sunlight or else it hurts them real bad.
Yeah.
And so now our party has been charged with taking this one darkling who sacrificed most of his life to see a sunset because it was so beautiful. Because seeing the sun actually ages them like a shit ton. So now they're like, oh, if you take him to this, the darkest part of this woods, our elders can make him into an elder or something like that. So we are now carrying this tiny, frail little darkling. But oh my god, I was so fucking sad. That kind of shit gets me. Like, even though it's all pretend make-believe games, I was still very sad and very upset that they could not see sunsets without almost dying.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it made sense because my character was also feeling that way, but Kylen was also feeling that way.
And we've also still got our Dragon Heights game still going.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Playing that bright and early today.
Yeah. Oof, we're gonna be so tired and so hungover.
What happened in that game?
Okay, well, in that game, I gotta think of where we started. Oh wait, was this the auto fucks up episode?
Yeah, y'all wanted to have some downtime so that y'all can like watch your kids and like see what sort of classes they might take whenever they become adventurers.
Yes.
And yeah, y'all had a week.
And we wanted to get stronghold benefits too.
Yeah, and y'all y'all took an extended rest so that y'all would be able to gain stronghold benefits from your establishment, because I am using the MCDM strongholds and followers in addition to just the Dragon High supplement with modified rules to balance it, because like the stronghold stuff, like technically you're only supposed to like get benefits of an establishment over a season, but like Dragon Heist is only supposed to be played out over a single season. So it's a lot of weird stuff there, but we've modified it a little bit. Y'all had to take a little vacation to get that. Otto wanted to use his downtime to find another gun.
And oh boy, did he decide to go about it in a way.
So, some minor Dragon High spoilers. There are guns in the adventure. There are specifically in the Forgotten Realms. They come from Lantern. They're Lantanese pistols that are all used by a certain subrace of gunslingers. And yeah, Otto found them and stole things from them, and they're very perceptive, very, very high level leader. Roll very high on his perception. That ended pretty badly. But everyone made some very, very good persuasion checks, and this person really didn't want to get blood on their hands, so y'all survived to end your extended rest. I'm trying to be as vague as possible for like all of this.
But Connor, at what cost did we do that? Because there were some decisions that were made that could potentially have some consequences.
Everything that was gained from like the little heist was like lost, but like it's pretty much a net zero for Otto, except that a true name was uttered at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to be resolved.
True and fake name. Because a true name said summoning a certain Rakshasa, and then two other characters in the party were like, oh hey, so-and-so, human name. Because, you know, our party is smart.
So smart.
Yeah, so now this NPC who's very high level and has lots of connections knows that. So, you know, whenever we end the official plot of Dragon Heist, there's at least that thread to follow.
There was one other thing that happened during that vacation, and it involved Ginger Benji's character. Earlier in the game, they had found a primordial dragon that was a spawn of Thordak, the Cinder King.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all killed it. Y'all killed it real good.
We did. Much to Glide's chagrin. He did not like that at all.
And y'all hung the disembodied head in your bar.
It was a good looking head.
It was.
I mean, Glide hated that.
But during the last session, you had gone into an area outside of Vermont in the scar of the Cinder King, not the crater, not where he ruled the domain, but like this scar outside that was still burning like half a year later.
Mm-hmm.
And you had found part of a primordial heartstone that in my version of Amon possibly was fueling these fires, and brought it back to some fire chambers, moving it just a little bit closer to your also birthed from a heartstone dragon head. And it started to react. Its eyes started glowing. Did I know what that meant at the time? No.
Certainly not.
Certainly not.
Don't plan that far ahead. I only need 30 seconds to prep.
Glide had decided that, like, hey, I should probably, like, get this checked out. And, like, went and talked to them. They're like, oh, that's weird. Can you bring the dragon head here? So he brought the dragon head there. And as it got closer, it started burning hotter. And eventually, whenever he brought it in, it, like, started, like, rolling off the table and then, like, melting the stone beneath it. Is 100% me just like, okay, it's here now. This is going to happen. You can do stuff to try to stop it. It's not going to work.
God damn it, Glide.
But the dragon head fused with the heartstone and essentially made a second dragon egg.
Because, you know, when a disembodied dragon head and a hearthstone love each other very much.
I'm using the statistics from Kobold Press's Tome of Beasts. This is a flame dragon wormling that eventually found its way back to your bar that y'all are fortifying in case of your big bad evil guy attacking.
Yeah.
And it sort of just like found its way in like minutes after hatching and just like plopped down in your fireplace. So now y'all have yet another pet because I love handing out pets.
Connor's just like, you get a pet. You get a pet. And everyone gets a pet.
Your pet just happens to be CR3.
It's just so funny because we're all so fucking... Everyone except Glide is so salty about it. It's like, do you see this naked space on our wall where this dragon head used to be? You gotta go get something else to put on our wall. And now we have this fucking baby dragon that could melt our entire bar. And we're just like, oh my god. Parenthood is so hard.
Yep, you already have 4 kids.
Damn.
And a disembodied hand.
And a robotic mouse.
And a robotic mouse.
And a mind witness.
Yep.
Truly, we have so much going on.
I love how in the Critical Role canon, nobody in Amon has ever mentioned the bullshit that y'all have been doing. But speaking of, that's my clever segue into what's been going on.
Holy shit. So, probably, I want to say maybe like 2 weeks ago, Critical Role very subtly and casually posted a picture that was in some sort of like runic language that was deciphered almost immediately that they something about making an animation. And so they came and they're like, yeah, we're opening a Kickstarter starting soon. Like, it started sometime in March. I'm bad with dates. And they were like, yeah, we want to raise 75,000 or $75,000. I'm good at math. To maybe make like one animated episode. So hopefully you guys can donate. And currently
it is at $6,798,000.
Holy shit, it's almost at $7 million. And how many days does it have left? 40 something?
39.
39 days left in its Kickstarter, which it met its original goal of the $7,500,000 within 41 minutes and hit $1 million within its first hour. And it is now beats the Kickstarter record of the most money raised for a movie TV project.
We're coming for you, Pebble. The most successful Kickstarter is like $20 million. We're not gonna work.
Yeah, and we have almost 7 million within the first few days. So that has been taking definitely the TTRPG world by storm, and has even leaked into mainstream news, which Critical Role has had its few mentions before, I think, in the mainstream news, but now it's being picked up by multiple sources. You're not going to see it on your TV, but just online news articles of how this fucking campaign started by these nerdy ass voice actors to make just one episode has morphed into a series now. Holy shit, what are your thoughts on all of this madness?
I had figured that, because I'm just thinking about the last Kickstarter that Critical Role did for the minis. That was also very much successful. I feel like this one was teased and hyped a little bit better than the Steamforged one. I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all. My expectation at as soon as the Kickstarter started, and it passed 1 million, I'm like, this is gonna hit definitely 2.5 million by the end of the day.
Wow.
They ended up doing 3.5 million, so he even surpassed that.
I think there was no doubt in anyone's mind that the Kickstarter was going to be met. I just think the speed at which it was met, plus this momentum it continues to have, is shocking to a lot of people, including the people over at Critical Role.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely not saying that they should have expected strangers on the internet to give them $3 million. That's fucking insane. But just the only other Kickstarter that I'm really thinking that's been really popular within the TTRPG community to anything close to this level would be the MCDM Strongholds and Followers Kickstarter, which ended up making, I think, close to 2 million.
Wow. And that was how long of a campaign?
I think it was 45 days or something like that.
But it's interesting because while this is like a TTRPG, like it's based on that. It's something a little more. Like it's not a supplement or anything like that. It's an actual like animated
It's
or
it's everything that we wanted a reboot of the D&D TV show to be, except
yeah,
not. It's that for this generation of
yes.
TTRPGers.
It goes beyond TTRPGs. It's now like an accessible form of entertainment for people who don't have the 100+ hours to, binge, abstract form of entertainment.
Yeah.
To get a story, it is now visual, this is an audio visual experience. And they're like, oh, we're going to tell just this one episode with this original story. It's going to be a 22-minute long animation that now morphed into, oh, okay, we're going to have 2 original episodes, and now we're also going to do a Briarwood arc. Should you guys give us that much money? Which was, I would like to say, totally the right call to make, given how insanely popular the Briarwood arc is.
Like the Briarwood arc is a really good place for them to start, because not only is it an amazing arc, and not only do people freaking love gothic horror, because I mean, look at the Castlevania animation. It's so good. It's doing so well.
And within the TTRPG community, look at how well Curse of Strahd does. Everyone loves fucking Curse of Strahd.
So good. But it's a very early arc with like still very menial character, or like characters reaching pretty good potential.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of great moments.
Oh yeah, like it's crazy. Like despite all the character growth that happens later on within the campaign, you still hear people say, "Yeah, the Briarwood arc is one of the best arcs, if not the best." Because honestly, it was that good. Even if most of the character development was centered around one character, there was some other character development.
Like Percy has a lot of great moments in the Briarwood arc, because he gets to knock off so much of his backstory and like dive into so much.
It was so fucking delicious too, because pretty much up until that point, he didn't really have that much of a chance to shine, unfortunately. And then he was given that opportunity to, and so everyone saw like Taliesin just flex his fucking muscles, and just fucking deliver, and then everyone else too, and just I'm a Briarwood arc stan. Like it's 100% one of my favorite arcs, if not my favorite. So I could gush about it all day, but basically what I'm saying is totally fucking smart move for them to decide to want to animate that, because that is something like I believe could get totally 100% funded.
So Briarwood arc is good place to start, or continue, because you have all those wonderful moments and it's really good art. It's a better place to continue than the Yug'Voril stuff, because they have to deal with the Tiberius question.
Ooh, so you want to talk about that? Let's talk about it.
So they have addressed on the frequently asked questions for the Critical Role Kickstarter if the character of Tiberius Stormwind, played by Orion Akaba, one of the original cast members of Critical Role, they have stated that he will not be making an appearance in the animation.
Mm-hmm.
Which I am sure everyone in the Critical Role community, or of a large portion of people in the Critical Role majority, are very much okay with.
Yeah, I have seen some people who are like, oh, he should be there, blah, blah, blah. But from my corner of the internet, the overwhelming majority is just like, good, thank God. Just because, for those who are not familiar, and we don't have time to divulge all this, but Orion has done some pretty shitty shit before and after leaving the show.
Yeah, just in
The
your own
receipts
time.
are out there.
In your own time, please Google Orion Akaba controversy. You can find a whole bunch of stuff with just like his own stuff, his Draconian Knights Kickstarter, and all the shady stuff that was going on there. Yeah, there's a lot. Skipping over Young Viril, which, by the way, Young Viril was a good place to start. I think everything that happened after it was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It just, as soon as they left the Underdark, I was just so much more interested in the show. So I'm glad that it probably would have been good to see like some of that animated, because I'm sure how Matt was describing the Underdark is not how I was picturing it at all. Because like I'm just picturing a whole bunch of tunnels and like some dungeons from Oblivion.
Yeah.
But Dark, wonderful arc, very great place to pick up on. We don't have to include the sorcerer. Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. That definitely takes care of any sort of. Well, actually, I suppose there is a slight issue of retcon because this new adventure story is supposed to take place at level 7, which canonically the sorcerer would still be there, but I don't know exactly how they're choosing to. So it's interesting because, like, in the show, it seems they're going to be brushing over it, but in the comics, he's going to be there, or is there? I'm not sure.
So the comics are stuff that happened, like, before level 2.
Mm-hmm.
That was just, like, level 1 stuff. And that was just, like, Matt Colwell just decided that he was going to use Tiberius, and, like, he asked him, he said, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, he asked Matt, and Matt said, yeah, go ahead. But, have you seen any of the like celebrity indie stuff?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Because I know in a lot of that, they've done like little things where like Keyleth and Percy were like off doing something at this moment, where they met Archon the Cruel,
yes,
and dug up a Marquesian tomb with him. And whenever we saw, again, Archon make his debut in Critical Role, Archon was just like, yes, I know these two, pointing at Keyleth and Percy. So apparently, like, that stuff is still in canon.
Yeah.
So they can definitely have all the characters, like, go off and do something and just leave Tiberius behind and still have it be canon.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably not be the same if, like, they were portraying what it seems like they were from the animated intro, which is the fiendish plot involving Sovereign Chaldore.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, as far as I know, Tiberius was there for that. But if it's an original adventure where, like, everybody's just off doing something, yeah. Cool, awesome.
That's good. that is all well and good by me. So it's so crazy to me how quickly it's being funded and how quickly it continues to be funded, because I think the cast and crew of Critical Role is at a point that's like they're coming up with stretch goals, not really sure exactly what they'll do for them, but then they're being met and they're like, oh shit, how are we gonna do this? Like the Mighty Nine Vox Machina crossover one shot, they're just like, yeah, we're not really sure how this will work logistically. We just kind of came up with it. So we gotta think about that now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like level 20 characters and level like 10s. Oh no.
Oh no.
The search for Terry. I mean, they're in Wildmount.
Wait, what? They have something about a search for Terry now?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that might be a thing that they could do. If like Tyrion goes missing and like the Mighty Nine knows where he is, someone that's like also doing something. That'd be a nice like cut between these two scenes or something like that. Matt Mercer, if you need that idea, there you go. Credit us. Like, comment, and subscribe, Matt Mercer.
Friend of the channel.
The channel members.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's just banana pants, honestly, because I feel like, who knows, maybe even these next few stretch goals will be met, and they'll have to come up with more stretch goals. Like, on top of that, too, maybe to dig a little into some controversy, if you don't mind that.
Ooh, let's do it.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it. Let's get spicy in this season 2.
With success has been some backlash from people, for I guess reasons that are different reasons, but reasons that are closely related enough. That's basically the root of it being, how dare they raise this much money in this amount of time? With some like group shooting off of that, some people saying, it's totally unfair how quickly they raise that much money, given, how many other small-time creators need support. And then, like, another offshoot of people are like, oh, they're raising all this money, they should be donating this to charity. And I have thoughts about those things, but I wanna press you on that first and see if you have anything to say.
So I am a capitalist. I am a dirty capitalist, and I think the laws of supply and demand exist for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Critical Role has built this community and had very specific ideas about, like, this is what we think we need to do for this level of animation quality. We want to go to like other companies and like see if they would help get it funded, but they want to either change things or like weren't completely on board or didn't really have a grasp on what we were doing. So this is sort of like the same sort of discussions that they originally had with Geek and Sundry whenever Critical Role was first being pitched.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to be very, no, if we were going to do this, we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're just a Twitch channel, and we're going to need a lot more help with this. Crowdfunding is good because, like, if people want to support this product, they can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a lot of people have a lot of respect for this storytelling style, and they know that Matt Mercer is not going to release something for Critical Role if he is not happy with it. And it seems like we have trust in Critical Role.
Mm-hmm.
That's why so many people were willing to give them support. Now, yes, lots of small people definitely need support, and there's a lot of really great TTRPG Kickstarters and products and Patreons and everything that are going out. And I loved that second day of the Critical Role Kickstarter. They started like Max Jenga, I think, or Chris Lockey, or some people who were very closely associated with Critical Role did like pull some like, let's pull for some support small creators tweets and like start signal boosting other products like that.
And then even on this week's episode of Critical Role, Matt was like, hey, guys, thank you for the support, but there are plenty of other projects that you guys can support as well from other creators. So check out this hashtag, like, I don't remember exactly, but like, it's like support diverse gamers or like something like that.
Yeah, I was coming off of the Pro Restarter game, So unfortunately, that bleeds into the intro for Critical Role. So
yeah. But no, he even mentioned that outright. Because a lot of people were like, basically criticizing them, like, because
like as if they had control over how much money they were going to get.
yeah, it's, to me, I believe, and this could probably come from a place of bias. I will acknowledge that it's almost like a little unfair, like, but the things that people are saying, but I think just like with any degree of success, especially just like a large margin of success like that, people are bound to be, I don't want to say like jealous, but like in a sense, yes. And like it's always easier to, look over on the other side and be critical and judgmental and all that stuff. But I guess more so than that, I think the people that use, and I've kind of gotten into this on my Twitter, but people who use Critical Role as a metric to measure their own success are ultimately doing themselves a disservice. Just because even at very early on, like when they were first starting out, Critical Role started out with a lot more advantages than just your average TT. Oh, Jesus, I'm so drunk. I can't even say the letters. TT RPG streamers start out with.
Yeah. So like they already had the boost from shit. Yeah, who runs Geek and Sundry?
Felicia Day?
Felicia Day. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so they already had the boost from Felicia Day and everybody at Geek and Sundry. They have a really good advantage in that they are all playing at the table live with which that's great for like pacing and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely helps.
And like feeling that table energy. They have the advantage of they're all professional actors who are all great at telling a engaging improvisational story. Like that's what they do.
And they're fucking friends with natural chemistry and not strangers brought together who have to kind of make up that chemistry on the spot.
Yeah.
So like there's a number of factors that contribute, and plus they've been in this game for like 4 or 5 years pretty much.
Yeah.
Building this fan base over time. So there are a number of factors that can contribute to why this Kickstarter is wildly successful. So for just an independent creator to look at that and be like, well, that's, like my channel will like never be that successful. That's not fair, and this is discouraging. Blah blah blah. Like, yeah, if you go into that mindset, it is going to be discouraging. But I think if you look at it kind of like, okay, well, this is kind of like the ideal combination of factors. This is like the most like popular TTP RPG show on the internet. So yeah, this makes sense. But like this doesn't define my own success, and I can find my own level of success that's more like, I don't want to say reasonable, but like, yeah, kind of. Like, we can't all be wildly popular. It's not how it's gonna work. So like I think trying to like set our goals like that level is just gonna end up like with people like crashing and burning out and being disappointed.
Yeah.
But that's just my 2 cents on the whole issue. On that side of the issue. There's also the other side of the issue, which I think comes from people who are, without being too spicy, I want to say a little less informed about Critical Role, who are like, they should donate that money to charity. If they're getting all that money, they should just donate that money to charity.
Which You
Oh,
can't.
go on. Go on. Yeah. Yeah. First of all, Kickstarter does not allow you to do that. So nice try, buddies. But Kickstarter won't allow that to happen. If you don't like that, go talk to fucking Kickstarter about it because it's their rules.
Go kick Kickstarter.
Kick their butts. Oh fuck! There goes our Kickstarter sponsorship.
Oh man, I'm just losing all sorts of sponsorships today.
Fuck. But it's just like so funny because if you took even like a small fraction of time to research the amount of charity work that Critical Role has done, like it's almost kind of like laughable, those comments, because for those who don't know, since the show's very beginning, they have been partnered with A26LA, which is a nonprofit dedicated to working with like children and teaching them about storytelling and creativity and all that stuff.
Got A26s all over.
Yeah, but they specifically partnered with A26LA because that's their local one.
Yeah.
In addition, they've worked with Pavlov, Operation Supply Drop. Have they worked with World Builders, or am I?
I don't think they've worked with World Builders outright, but they've definitely mentioned World Builders.
Yeah. So definitely at least 3 different charities. Also, if you go to their the frequently asked questions page on the Critical Role website, one of the questions is, oh, can we mail you guys gifts, give you guys gifts, all that stuff. And they say, I mean, we would much rather you prefer you donate to charity. Here's a list of all the cast members' favorite charities. So you can see everyone in the cast of Critical Role and even Brian's favorite charity that they would rather you donate to than give them stuff. So the fact that people are using that as like an argument to me feels almost, you know what, I'm gonna say I'm being a little spicy. It's a little ignorant.
Well, it is very hard to remain informed, especially as everybody's going to have their knee-jerk emotional reaction. That's okay. That is valid. But just know that people on the internet are going to call you out for your bullshit.
Yeah.
But your feelings are definitely still valid.
Yeah, the feelings are valid. Like I get the jealousy. I too am sitting out here just like, damn, I wish I had that much money to do creative shit. But I don't. But it's just they like the cast of Critical Role, they're not always perfect. And they sometimes slip up and make mistakes. But they're the type of people who, once people, bring it to their attention, they're very quick to try and correct those mistakes. And they're always trying to use their platform for good and promote others and promote charities and whatever they can do. So why not, for once, can we support them when they want to promote themselves? I think they have talked the talk and walked the walk for years now. And they've proven themselves to be, in general, very good, reliable allies in a number of causes. So why can't we support them in this project without complaining about it so much? I'm a little biased because I'm a fan, but I think that, they've done more good than they have done harm. So why can't we, support them in this very exciting endeavor? But, I'm just going to sip my tea here.
Yeah. And if you are one of those people, well, number one, you wouldn't have gotten this far in the podcast if you were one of these small, vocal, angry minorities, which you're allowed to be angry and whatever. Like I said, your feelings are valid. But it is a small portion of the community that has been feeling this way. Like very small, angry voices on the internet that we just so happen to have our own emotional knee-jerk reactions to and amplify and get upset about. We're doing the same stuff. It's okay. We are all emotional people, but for the most part, it's nothing but love.
Yeah.
Stay loving. I just experienced the time jump, so I am.
You too. Fuck Benjamin.
I see. We both. Fuck Gingerman Franklin.
Gingerman Franklin.
Gingerman Franklin.
Ginger Benji Franklin.
Well, if that doesn't tell you it's about time to wrap up your fucking episode, I don't know what is.
Wow. You know, we learned a lot and we made a lot of friends along the way.
So, we're still figuring out what season 2 means, and we're still figuring out what this podcast is. But thank you so much for listening to it.
Yeah. Hope you guys had fun, learned a lot, laughed, cried, maybe fallen in love.
So,
all of listening to this podcast.
So if you liked what you heard, there are links in the doobly-doo to find both of us, as well as some of the people that we play with on the internet, where you can get a little taste of what we've been talking about. We finally have some Let's Talk About It merch in the store too.
Holy fuck.
We got a mug and a shirt.
Oh, we have a shirt? I thought we just had a mug.
Yeah, we got a Tri-Blend shirt.
Oh, fuck. I'm ignorant.
So yeah, if you like it, you can get stuff. That's my merch plug. There is stuff. It's in the doobly-doo. And yeah, anything else?
Don't forget to love each other.
Listen, just because you've met Brian, does that give you the right?
Excuse me.
But please, don't forget to love each other. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
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 Connor's the scrummy master. He's the master of the scrummies.